Welcome to the Startup Funding Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, where we talk about how to raise funding and invest in startups and the time it takes to drink an espresso. If you have a question about startup funding or investing, please go to the website, startupfundingespresso.com, and type in your question into the chat bot in the lower right corner to receive an answer. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. In startup funding, we talk about pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B, and so forth. It sounds like each stage is just one step after the other. When you finish your pre-seed round, you raise your seed. In reality, there's a gap between seed and Series A. It often takes several rounds of funding to close it. Most startups raise a pre-seed, seed, seed plus, another bridge round for $250K, and then go to Series A. This is often a surprise to first-time founders. The reasons are as follows. In most cases, the Series A is the first institutional round of investment. The requirements regarding revenue growth, margins, churn, and other factors are fixed and rigorous. Prior rounds of funding were often made regardless of the results of the business, but rather with the promise of future results. Series A investors have specific requirements around valuation and ownership stakes. This often requires better metrics and more revenue to make it work. It's often the case that the founders have a vision for a specific valuation. Specific valuation targets often require better metrics from the startup. Make sure you plan for the gap between the seed and the Series A in your fundraise. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.